Hi everyone, I'm Graham Cressy, the Accenture FinTech Innovation Lab Director and your host for today. Welcome to Graduation Day 2022 for the 10th FinTech cohort here in the UK, and welcome to the Metaverse. We've got 14 stellar startups for you today, as well as some brilliant keynote speakers to inspire your FinTech life. What a ride it's been to get here. Dozens of workshops, over 40 partners with multiple pitch events and a few socials along the way too. We learned a lot. It was a fully remote lab last year and it's been fantastic to be back in person for the hybrid lab this year. The lab has been running for 3 intense months now. It all started way back in summer 2021, so first off, a huge thank you to everyone here today for supporting, for participating, and ultimately championing for our inspiring startup teams. The lab really is only made possible by the commitment of the Fintechs, the generosity of time and insights from our mentors, the technology and accelerators from our affiliates, and incredibly importantly, the collaboration opportunities from our client partners and the Accenture stream teams. The FinTech Lab really for us is all about three things: supporting early stage growth startups at the cutting edge of technology and human ingenuity. Secondly, delivering tangible, impactful and relevant innovation opportunities for our clients, going beyond the PowerPoint slides. And thirdly, providing leading engagement across the market on topics we're passionate about here at Accenture. That's new tech, it's championing diversity, and it's creating opportunity through FinTech for good. To achieve that this year, our partners have focused in on 4 themes. They've really driven those, and that's about addressing the enterprise challenges, and you'll hear about these as we go through the 4 FinTech streams. So they are embracing sustainability and green finance, being truly data-driven organizations, delivering on the promise of cloud, and leveraging the potential of embedded finance. Sustainability is really something we are particularly strong on here at Accenture, and we see it across 3 lenses. We talk about sustainability in the context of number 1, economic prosperity, number 2, societal equality, and number 3, environmental sustainability. Putting technology to work to achieve those aims really isn't simple, as I'm sure many of you know, and it's really exciting to see where things are going. So we try and do that in different ways as well, and this year we've chosen to host the lab in the Metaverse for exactly that reason. So we're always going to keep pushing the lab to new frontiers. We always keep pushing our themes forward, and this year we've pushed the platform forward as well. So welcome to TouchCast. I hope you found your way in. Presume you have if you're watching this, unless you're on YouTube. But alongside our XR labs in New York, it's really part of Accenture's investment in, frankly, the hottest trend of the year. It's something we've just published our tech trends point of view about, and it's certainly going to be impacting enterprises everywhere as really the next evolution of the internet really emerges. It's growing fast as well, isn't it? The gaming industry already $150 billion, and the research reports that we're seeing are talking about things like 50% of bankers anticipating virtual and augmented reality becoming a channel of choice in the next few years, certainly by 2030. So, if this is your first metaverse platform experience, essentially an enhanced and kind of interactive online experience, to call it for what it really is, then I hope it's a good one. There's certainly a lot of opportunity coming up shortly to try it out, to engage and collaborate with our fintechs. I really encourage you to do that. So to the cohort then, the reason we're all here today really, you're going to meet 14 of the sharpest startups out there. They've been handpicked by our partners and our mentors. We had over 250 applications from around the world. Ultimately, we've got 43% female leaders in this cohort, 50% BIPOC representation, coming from across 13 locations, 8 countries. We are super proud of them and the diversity of ideas and backgrounds that they bring. We also want to thank our affiliate partners. We've done new things in the lab this year. We've got Nea1 and Ulis who've provided a technical sandbox for us. That's the first time we've done it in the lab, really helping to test out propositions and get to value faster. Our Fintechs are now going to go off on the back of all of this lab participation to be one of our 250 plus global alumni, and we're really looking forward to supporting them on that longer term journey as well. So without further ado, let's get into what's really going to happen next today. You're going to hear from each Fintech, going to do them stream by stream. They're going to be introduced by our Accenture stream team leads who've been supporting them throughout the process. And between the two batches of pitches, there's going to be a couple of opportunities for networking. So we'll explain more about how that's going to work, but crucially be able to get in there, ask you questions, find out about the partnership chances and opportunities for you. And to top and tail it all, we've got two fascinating keynote speakers for you that really bring fintech and partnerships to life. We've got PrimaryBid, our, stellar alumni, frankly, and we've got Laura McCracken from our payments and platforms business, which is her experience is amazing. So hang on for that. Do get involved. Use the chat functionality, introduce yourself, engage in the discussions, be curious about the fintechs, and together I'm sure we'll see some fantastic scale-ups and organizational growth coming through. Throughout the event, if you're suffering any technical difficulties or any questions, you can reach out to the lab team. We've got Georgie, Harris, Callum and Pam, myself, all for assistance. So contact details are available in the description below the stage. And really, thank you again for being here. I really hope you enjoy it. We've been so excited to do the lab again this year. Please engage with the fintechs in the breakouts. There are so many fascinating stories, such brilliant propositions. There's so much to learn about them and the technologies. So get immersed in the latest tech, identify those opportunities for yourselves. So to kick us off, let's get into it. We've got Anand, co-founder, CEO, one of our most famous alumni, PrimaryBid. He's going to give an inspiring view of what the future might hold for our latest cohort. PrimaryBid have just gone from strength to strength since graduating from the lab. They were in the lab in 2018. Their platform's all about giving everyone fair access to IPOs, public company fundraisers. They've supported over 1.3 billion in transactions. They've headlined in City AM about potential better ownership options for Chelsea Football Club. And far more importantly, they've also raised 190 million Series C funding in February. So a massive virtual round of applause to them for that. They really are a true star of the lab. So I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you, Anand. The stage is yours. Take it away.
Hi, well, thank you. What an amazing introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Anand. I'm the co-founder and CEO of PrimaryBid. And I'm really, really honored to be invited to speak here today. About 4 years ago, I was sitting right in your seat, and it was a very big moment for me because Accenture had actually rejected my application to the lab for 2 years running. And I think they only accepted the third attempt because they knew I wasn't going to leave them alone. So firstly, congratulations. Today is a big deal. It certainly was for me. You know, I remember very clearly sitting there after that grueling winter program that they've got, feeling very proud about getting through it all. And then all of a sudden, the alumni speaker shows up right on the back of a $25 million Series C, and he starts talking about it. And it was really right around then reality came crashing down on me. I remember thinking, $25 million, holy shit. Just remember at the time, we had raised about $1 million from 3 small seed rounds. Quite frankly, I didn't even know how to understand and compute such a big number in relation to where we were. Now, I was somewhat encouraged to see another alumni company do it, but overwhelmingly, I was petrified that we were nowhere close to that sort of scale. I couldn't fathom it. But fast forward to today, and we are a global business. We're category kings in our sector. We're a Series C company that's raised over $250 million from incredible investors such as SoftBank, Fidelity, Molten, Omers, the London Stock Exchange, ABN AMRO, Pentech, Outward, Hambro Perks, and many others. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I think it's important that you also believe that it can be done and that it's okay to be freaked out. And in fact, embrace your holy shit moment, because this next part coming up is intensely challenging. Look, I'm not here to dole out any advice. I think you've had plenty of that over the last few months from people a lot smarter than I am. But instead, I thought it'd be easier if I told you exactly what we did after graduating from this program. And hopefully some of it will resonate with your own unique journeys. So first thing we did was to go hard after our Series A fundraise. And I would still do that even in this environment. Forget the doom and gloom. The market is still hot. There's a lot of dry powder out there looking for great ideas, great founders looking for a great home. Because remember, at this point, you are hot property. You just graduated from one of the most respected fintech accelerators in the world. You are pitch perfect. You've repeated that bloody pitch about 1,000,000 times. You can say it in your sleep. Don't let that practice go to waste. But mind you, it still wasn't easy with all of that, right? Foundation. Look, I would say closing the Series A was still the single hardest thing I've done in my career. I got no more no's than I ever thought humanly possible. It made those two Accenture rejections seem like, a children's fairy tale. The main lasting lesson, if I think about that process, was how to learn from those no's. It's hard to do because it's sort of a rejection of your business and your ideas, but I think it's really, really important to confront them and address them head on. I think I realized quickly, look, I was speaking to investors who'd worked with so many great businesses, and by them saying no, they were imparting a little bit of wisdom to me about our business. So I was sort of forced myself to understand why, and then address it in the next meeting I had with the next investor. So sort of understand and iterate. That was a really big part of a learning. It took us actually over 1 year to get the Series A terms done. And I will say it's probably the darkest period I've had as an entrepreneur. But it was also one of the most necessary. I feel like this whole process, that bit of the process, was almost designed to test our spirit to see if you can come out on the other side. And once you get it done, things do get, I'd say, microscopically easier. I mean, just a hair easier. It's still insanely difficult. One irony is after that announcement, Series A announcement, we got so many investors that sort of pinged us because now we'd sort of planted on their radar. And I remember thinking, our business is exactly the same, but where were you guys just 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago? I couldn't even get through the door. But now we had the money, right? So our biggest challenge at this point was to cement our product market fit. We had to build traction and prove that we could work with the best. For us, that means side by side with the global investment banks on the biggest deals in the world. And we're a Series A fintech company. So if getting your Series A is the impossible task, this was part 2 of that same story. I promise you, it took a gargantuan team effort where we attacked from all sides to win business. We had to learn to be imaginative, brave, purpose-driven, relentless, tenacious, all of those things. And I'll say traits that still very much stick to the core of our team and how we work, even today. But when we broke through to the first FTSE 100 deal, we did it in style. So it was a £2 billion fundraise for a company called Compass Group, book run by Goldman Sachs, with us sole managing the retail offer. For context, this was the first time in history that a FTSE 100 company was able to raise money from individuals as well as institutions on an accelerated basis, all thanks to our platform. We still think about that day. I speak to my co-founder and CFO, and we talk when we were writing our name on the company's press release. It was a company's name, and then there was Goldman Sachs, and we wrote PrimaryBid right underneath it. And I looked at Kiran, and he actually had a tear in his eye. It was amazing. And then it caught fire. And what I will tell you is, when that happens, after all of that grueling work, when it catches fire, it's like watching magic. You know, I'll give you some context on it. At the time, before that deal, we were kind of doing one deal every couple of months. And then that Series A came along. We sort of built our projection models, and we said, look, let's be ambitious. Let's write what winning looks like. And winning looked like in the Series A, like a deal a week. After we did Compass, we were running 2 deals a day. So that's 10x better what winning looked like in the Series A model. I mean, it was like being in a rocket ship like I've never felt like before. It was the most incredible experience. And I don't just mean any deals. We got on some of the biggest deals on the continent, like Ocado, William Hill, Aston Martin, Taylor Wimpey. Deliveroo called us up. We invented the world's first fully integrated in-app IPO, which we did for them. If you had your Deliveroo app and you saw that IPO, that was us powering it in the back end. We got a call from Soho House, which was listing on the New York Stock Exchange, and said, we want to do the same thing. It was all just catching fire. And look, pre-lockdown, we were 15 people. That's when the pandemic hit. We left the office. 1 year later, we were 150 people. Then came the inbounds from the investor calls trying to preempt a Series B. We closed a $50 million Series B without even pitching. 1 year later, we closed 190 million Series C left by SoftBank. And alongside, we launched in new countries, new products, made new mistakes, things worked, things broke, things got fixed. We met so many brilliant people along the way. We even had the privilege of bringing some of them and joining our company. We reorged the company twice in the process. And after all that, you know, whirlwind, I suddenly find myself all the way back here at the Accenture graduation ceremony where it all almost started, and which is why I said it's such an honor to be here. Look, that's our story till right now. And I guess the point I would love to leave you with is that this is a tough and lonely path, and that's the cold hard truth. And you are at the hardest bit of it, and I think you know it. And truth is, nobody fully understands that apart from other founders. No one can fully get it unless they've been through it. And that's why I always feel that the founder community need to stick together, because that shared empathy is really valuable and it's impossible to get anywhere else. But if you can power through those dark moments and those tough times, and you can find your secret sauce, the result is one of the most incredible and enriching life experiences you will ever have. So with that, I wanted to wish you all the very best in what lies ahead.
That was great. Thank you, Anand. Absolutely loads for us to reflect on there. So we are now going to start our FinTech pitches. We're going to be kicking things off with our stream focused on embracing sustainability and green finance. Your host for this is our fantastic stream lead, Alison Crittenden. She heads up a variety of our sustainability work here in Accenture. It's an area we're seeing major acceleration on, from ESG reporting to carbon tracking for retail and business customers alike, and cross-industry work as well. This isn't all about FS. So Alison's going to introduce you to our first 3 fintechs for the day. Over to you, Alison.
Hi everyone, my name is Alison Crittenden. I'm a senior manager in the banking team at Accenture and the stream team lead for sustainability in the FinTech Innovation Lab. In my 12 years at Accenture, I've been lucky to work with great clients across the banking industry in exciting new propositions, transformational journeys, and with regulatory challenges. And I'm delighted that as an industry group, we are talking increasingly about embracing sustainability and the move towards green finance. We know that sustainability is growing in importance for consumers, and many of us as individuals are making sustainability-based choices every day. Financial services and financial institutions are making moves towards being more sustainable and embedding green principles, but there are still numerous challenges in embracing sustainability and green finance. And that's where our 3 fantastic sustainability fintechs are looking to help. Firstly, ClimateX, who use data and analytics to deliver location-specific risk ratings and loss estimates for extreme weather events, helping businesses become more resilient to the impacts of climate change. Secondly, ESG Base. Their AI tech platform helps capital allocators and policymakers deploy funding and efforts to greener, more sustainable, more resilient infrastructure and real assets. And finally, Greener. Their sustainability platform enables organisations to understand their environmental impact using self-service technology to set net zero carbon reduction plans and promote climate action among the workforce. I hope you enjoy the presentations from our cohort of sustainability fintechs.
Hi, my name is Lucky and I'm co-founder and CEO of ClimateX. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about what ClimateX is and what we do. And really, ultimately, our mission is to enable a more climate resilient future for everyone and everything on this planet. Many of you have probably experienced already firsthand the effects of climate change related events such as wildfires, flooding across Europe and many parts of the States and worldwide. It's a really global problem that everyone's trying to tackle, and there's a significant cost attached to it. So we tried to put on this slide some representation of what that looks like. So by the year 2050, the expected costs relating to climate change are anticipated to rise to $23 trillion. That's the equivalent of the US's entire GDP being wiped out overnight. And as a result, what we're finding is that governments and central banks worldwide are scrambling to introduce mandatory legislation and regulations that forces key contributors to the global economy to finally start assessing not only how their businesses and operations affect climate change, but how climate change might affect them. So what does it mean in terms of the potential damage, for example, to assets? What happens if many parts of your portfolio become uninsurable because of significant flooding events, for example? And this is a global phenomenon that's stretching across not just the UK, where the front runners are, but many parts of Europe. We're seeing that the ECB is mobilizing in the financial sector world, but also places like the US, the Fed has mobilized a lot of consultations. This is a truly global challenge. And the consistent problem that we're seeing in challenge is the lack of access to data that helps with decision making. And that's where ClimateX comes in with our offering. We've developed a platform called Spectra, and what we do is we provide location-specific risk ratings and loss estimates. So imagine that you're a bank. What you would do is you provide us an entire extract of your portfolio. It could be a mortgage portfolio or some other assets that you have under your control. And we will then analyze that quickly through our online platform or through our APIs and deliver for you a portfolio level risk rating. And then you can dive down into specific assets to understand what the asset level risks are, what's driving the risks themselves. Is it flooding? Is it subsidence? Is it something else? And ultimately that allows you to then make decisions around resiliency. So how do you start to price for these risks that might take place in the future today? How do you rebalance your portfolios, for example? And indeed, it could be the case that you say you want to divest from an entire area and start to diversify your risks more broadly. And the risks that we cover are really there to provide you a 360 view across all of the climate hazards that you might have of interest. So we cover flooding and different types of flooding. So surface flooding, river flooding and coastal flooding. We're the only provider in the world that also includes geophysical hazards as part of our offering. So subsidence, landslides are part of the bundle that we deliver, but also extreme heat and cold. And we'll be deploying wildfire, drought and tropical storms later this year. And we do so at an incredibly accurate rate. So actually our models are achieving up to 95% rates of accuracy depending on the risk type. So when we tell you that something is likely to happen in the future, we are confident in those outcomes. And we don't just stop there, we also quantify the financial impacts that are associated with these risks. So we take into account the hazards themselves, but also things like the building condition in order to understand the vulnerability. So if there was a flooding event, how much value of this asset might be lost as a consequence of that. And so we do that in the order of a building replacement cost. So you can really understand what's driving the financial risks to your portfolio. And as I mentioned, everything's accessible through our online portals and APIs. We're cloud-based, AWS, so it's super simple and super secure for you to access. We've got an online platform that's ready to demo and it's easy to use. We generate beautiful visuals that can be used, for example, for your TCFD reports. We dynamically generate beautiful reports and insights that you can then present to executive committees and so on. So we're super excited about what we've developed. We're really proud to have joined the Accenture's FinTech Innovation Lab this year. We've taken a huge amount of value in speaking directly to a wide range of customers and stakeholders to understand how they might use and implement our data into their businesses day to day to help their first journey, steps towards that journey of climate resiliency. So we're really pleased with the findings that we've had, and actually some of the mentor sessions have been really useful for us as well. We've really managed to hone our proposition better, draw out the value add and extract that directly to the sales propositions. So we're really proud of being part of this year's cohort, and thank you for having us.
Hi, I'm Jimmy, CEO and co-founder of Greener. At Greener, we help companies measure their carbon footprint, engage their workforce to reduce their emissions at source, and support nature-based projects for their unavoidable emissions. In the UK, there are over 6 million SMEs that contribute up to 50% of UK business emissions. However, 78% of them have reported not knowing where to start when it comes to climate change, and less than 20% have any target with regard to net zero. There are also severe shortages in sustainability talent and data specialists, and that's precisely why we launched Greener, the Sustainability as a Service platform for SMEs and enterprises. We've transformed the way that companies report, measure, and track their carbon footprint, and we save the average firm thousands of pounds in consultancy fees by enabling them to measure their emissions in hours. And we give them the ability to make proactive business decisions in real time.
Thanks, Jimmy. I'm Gabrielle, the other co-founder of Greener, and my role here is Head of Product and Impact. It's my pleasure today to introduce our 3 different products. These products are really why we're so different from our competitors. And our products are classed in 2 different categories. The first category is for business executives, CEOs, or ESG officers. And the first product in that is our self-service business carbon calculator. This sits on our website and enables SMEs to calculate their carbon footprint in mere minutes or hours instead of having to hire in a team of consultants, which would cost between £10,000 and £15,000, which isn't really palatable for small enterprises. The second product is our live web dashboard. This is a tool used by ESG officers or executives to look at their carbon footprint in real time and make proactive, sustainable decisions instead of waiting a whole year for the next carbon audit to come through. And then our third product is our hero product. It is our mobile app. You can download the beta version of the app right now on both app stores by scanning the QR codes available on the screen right now. So our app is rolled out to all of employees in a given company and helps them engage their workforce into their own sustainability mission. On the app, they can engage their employees in different competitions, carbon reduction competitions, and different pledges to really crowdsource their carbon audit and engage everyone in the process. We've had great success so far. Our case study has shown a 500 kilo of CO2 reduction per person per year, which is in line with the Paris Agreement reduction target. And then lastly, outside of our products, we also offer a tailored carbon offset portfolio to all SMEs to help them reach their net zero or carbon neutral target within a year. We've had great success with these products. We're currently rolled out in 8 different companies and used by thousands of employees.
So how does Greener make money? That's based on our 3 core elements of our revenue model. First, as Gabrielle mentioned, we help companies baseline their emissions and then give them the opportunity to offset historical emissions. We currently price that at between £5 to £7 per tonne, and this is a really useful way to baseline a company's financial burden when it comes to the environment. We also use this as the basis to set reduction at source targets for their workforce. Second is our license fee, which we charge from £1 per employee per month. And this is predicated on coaching, recommendations, and rewards through the Greener platform. Through gamification, we find engagement rates go up across companies, and they really are motivated to reduce as much emissions at source, which differentiates Greener from any competitor on the market today. What's great for clients is the more they reduce their emissions at source, the cheaper their monthly offset bill becomes. And the third element is affiliate fees. We've got over 300 recommendations on our platform of how an individual user can reduce their carbon footprint. Behind each pledge, we have brand partners that offer exclusive discounts and offers to our individual users. For every successful referral, Greener receives a success fee, and therefore we're building one of the leading sustainable marketplaces in the market and really creating a sticky proposition for companies and their workforce to continue engage with Greener to reduce their emissions at source. We're excited about what we're building at Greener, but don't just take our word for it. The United Nations COI 16 named Greener the best green project for 2021. The Women in Tech's Excellence Award named us SME Innovator of the Year, and we became B Corp certified at the end of 2021. If you'd like to join the Greener community as an investor or client, please get in touch with either Gabrielle or myself on jimmy@greener.com or gabrielle@greener.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for your time.
Details listed on the screen, or follow us through our social channels.
Hi, I'm Dev, co-founder and CEO of ESG Base. It's been a great experience to participate at the London FinTech Innovation Lab 2022. At ESG Base, our mission is simple: to make ESG alignment easy. Our entire suite of technologies and tools, the methodologies we have developed, all serve this one common purpose. As you may already be aware, the term ESG has experienced unprecedented growth in the world's collective consciousness in recent years. In just the last 5 years, searches on ESG topics have grown 7 to 8 times worldwide and about 10 times in the United States. ESG is associated with a broad range of topics, but some of the closest association terms are sustainability, environmental, impact, social, and governance. As climate change concerns continue to emerge as one of the most significant challenges known to humanity, the terms environmental and sustainability are on a trajectory to associate even more closely with ESG. According to OECD World Bank studies, about $7 trillion of green investments are needed every year to achieve the goals of the Paris Agreement. Current investment is at $1 trillion, so we're expecting a 6-fold increase in investments in bankable green projects. We have all heard that the lack of reliable data to discover, monitor, and track bankable green projects is currently a major roadblocker to the growth of green investments. We are here to address this challenge head-on and make ESG alignment easy. At ESG Base, we have developed a suite of products to support the end-to-end business processes for ESG-aligned investment. We have a cloud-based ESG data collection and reporting tool, which would enable you to monitor and track the assets currently under your portfolio and report against some of the most recognized ESG frameworks, such as the UN Sustainable Development Goals, TCFD, GRI, SASB, etc. A risks platform that uses sophisticated satellite data from NASA, natural disaster data, meteorological data, policy, social, and governance data to provide a holistic picture of the ESG risks at the location of the asset. And a predictive platform that constructs bottom-up science-based predictions of materiality of an investment, both financial and environmental. So for a typical investment, at the proposal stage, the impact prediction tool can be used to get a first-level validation of the financial returns and expected environmental impact of an investment. As the project proceeds to the investing stage, the risks platform can be used to get a holistic picture of the ESG risks of the investment. At the same time, more granular project-specific nuances can be incorporated into the impact prediction platform to obtain richer information, such as effects of different policies and scenario analysis. During asset management, the reporting platform will automate the collection of ESG data from the assets, and the risk platform would be used for ongoing monitoring of risks as the local risk profile evolves over time. The impact prediction tool can also be deployed at the asset management stage. This would be to facilitate engagement with the assets and to develop improvement plans, navigating to greater ESG alignment with time. We are currently at an early stage of the ESG-based journey. To get us to where we are today, we have interviewed over 200 industry experts, carried out 2 proof of concepts with large multinational project developer and FMCG, built and tested the prototype using key cases such as the UK Cumbria mining project. We have also gained several impressive supporters along the way, including the European Union, G20's Global Infrastructure Hub, Santander Bank, London Business School, the University of Cambridge, Australian Clean Energy Finance Corporation, Grantham Institute, and most recently, the FinTech Innovation Lab. Our technology has been piloted with Palisade, a large infrastructure asset manager based in Australia. Our report for the Cumbria coal mine project is also being used by the UK's Climate Change Committee to assess the future of the mine. We are currently serving a wide range of verticals: government policy organizations, infrastructure funds, and private equity. We're looking forward to expand into more verticals in the near future. There is an urgent need now to accelerate investments towards greener economies and real assets. We have developed several technologies to support the end-to-end business processes for ESG investing, starting from our reporting platform, our risk assessment platform, and finally, the highly sophisticated impact prediction platform. We invite you to collaborate with us to accelerate your ESG journey. Thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you.
A massive thank you to all of our sustainability fintechs for their presentations and for being part of our FinTech Innovation Lab 2022 programme. It can't have been easy balancing the demands of running their companies while juggling an intensive 12-week accelerator. It has been a real privilege for our entire stream team to meet and work with ClimateX, Greener and ESG Base throughout this journey, and we wish them every success in driving meaningful, sustainable impact in financial services and beyond. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Thanks, Alison, and to our sustainability fintechs there. Such a relevant and important subject in so many ways. I'm sure there's loads of you in the audience who are juggling with those challenges right now. Well, our next stream continues to be a staple of the Innovation Lab. We see vast swathes of data continuing to be underutilized for both customers and businesses. So this stream is all about enabling truly data-driven organizations. I'm delighted to hand you over to our data stream team sponsor. That is Sandy Panchanda. Sandy works for Medano, Accenture's data, machine learning and analytics practice. They live and breathe this stuff every day. This is a great stream. Over to you, Sandy.
Hi, I'm Sandy Chanda, co-founder of Medano, Accenture's data-driven reinvention business, MD in Accenture Applied Intelligence, and the FinTech Innovation Lab data stream sponsor. The data stream this year addresses the challenges, opportunities, and responsibility data and AI has in reinventing how we think and execute solutions. Simple efficiency gains will not be the legacy of AI, and automation can only take you so far. Reinvention is where data and AI can make an impact, which is what you'll see across the data stream fintechs this year. So we have 4 very exciting organizations as part of the data stream. First on the list is Deontic Data, who are automating rights management along the data supply chain. Deontic Data is collaborating with data originators, providers, and consumers to develop standards and solutions for the data supply chain to automate it. It creates a trusted network through which data can flow, compliant with license, regulation, and business policies. Next up is Lab 1, who are finding compromised data assets. Lab 1 uses graphs, AI, and ML to find compromised data and creates reports and intelligence on vendors and suppliers, which no other company globally provides. Lab 1 are using machine learning and deep human and domain expertise to monitor billions of data assets across the dark and open web to make that possible. From compromised data assets to automatically generating regulatory reports at scale. Well, that is what Pangea, our next fintech, is solving. Pangea's novel NLG-based product can identify signals from large news feeds from the financial market and generate regulatory reports for traders automatically, which significantly reduce manual effort and create greater value at scale. And finally, Paperbox. Paperbox is reducing the lead times in claims handling and other insurance functions. It is a SaaS for intelligent document processing. They use self-learning models to classify documents and extract information from them.
Trading data can be tedious. I learnt this working at a major vendor of financial data. Transaction costs are high. Searching for information, negotiating deals, and enforcing contracts are hard. Many deals are bilateral and ad hoc. Most data is never traded. It's not the data itself. Cloud data exchanges have made it easy to onboard. So why is it so difficult? Data licensing today is managed manually. It's the stuff of paper contracts, PDFs, memos, notes, emails, spreadsheets, and even arguments. Checking compliance is expensive, slow, and error-prone. No wonder financial institutions keep liabilities on their books, covering their use of market data. I'm Ben, the founder of Deontic Data. We automate these processes and remove those liabilities as a SaaS provider of services supporting and enforcing decisions around data usage. The question we answer is, who can do what with which data? We're simplifying the trade in data, but without touching the data itself, just the metadata, standards, and decisions that determine its compliant use along the supply chain. We create a trusted network through which data can flow, compliant with license, regulation, and business policy. Whether it's a trading desk that wants to create an index and share it with its customers, or a data scientist looking to improve their analysis with a new data set, we can reduce the time to data usage from months to days, even seconds. We increase the speed and scale of decision making to allow more data to start generating value faster. We automate these decisions by teaching computers to understand the licenses and regulations controlling the use of data as sets of formally defined permissions, prohibitions, and obligations. These are the rules that can safely guide data use. We've tested these translations with data originators, like the exchanges, large data providers, and regulators. Understood by computers, these rules can be enforced by computers. Our focus today is on access control and redistribution use cases. All these are moments of compliance risk. We seek to remove it. The decisions our systems allow are both transparent and provably correct. I look forward to a day when every data access is permissioned. As computers make more and more decisions about us, I think that this is a societal good. I also anticipate a growing recognition that the legitimacy of a decision does not lie within a single organisation, but in the supply chain or society or context within which it's being made. Here standards play a crucial role in capturing and encoding a consensus. Deontic Data has collaborated with a small number of banks, buy-side firms, exchanges and city lawyers to develop a standard for the machine-readable representation of market data licenses. These control the use of the pricing and trading data generated on exchanges and all the data derived from it, like indices. We published our first draft shortly before Christmas under the auspices of the W3C, the standards body for the web. Now the scope has expanded to include research and reference data. What better place to start than the data flowing through the financial markets? It's probably the oldest, largest, and most sophisticated market for data, worth $40 billion annually. Perhaps 10% of that, $4 billion, is spent on data governance, inventory management, and access control. With the support of the relevant trade body, we've organised events to gauge the industry's interest in automating that. 82% of attendees from over 150 organisations said that the industry should adopt a standard to express market data usage rights as machine-readable rights statements. So what's driving them to accept change now? The move to the cloud demands new architectural patterns, and we have the pattern for data compliance. This is a generational change. Scale. The Economist magazine estimates that 30% of capital allocations in Western markets are now made by AIs. Our manual compliance processes simply cannot scale with their demand for data. And regulation. The regulations and licenses governing data and the use of AIs are only going to increase in complexity. Those who wish to act with agility will automate their data governance. If you want to join us in this journey, or just want to find out more, please get in touch. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robin, co-founder and CEO of Lab1. Lab1's mission is to organise the world's compromised data so businesses can make better decisions. The scale of compromised data problem is absolutely vast. Businesses are suffering attacks every single day, as can be seen here. 1.6 million ransomware attacks every single day in the first 6 months of 2021. And compromised data is bad enough for your company, But what about if it happens with the suppliers and vendors in your supply chain? Accenture's research is showing that breaches from the supply chain now account for 61% of all breaches. Whereas IBM research is showing that it takes companies on average 200 days to find out they've got compromised data. That's 200 days too long in our opinion. Meanwhile, Verizon research is showing that 30% of data leaks involve internal actors. So this is employees either mistakenly or purposefully leaking data. Well, if it's mistakenly, hacker Pompompurin is waiting, scanning the web for unguarded, sensitive data before leaking it on forums because he can and it's fun. Words to strike fear into the heart of any CISO. Meanwhile, a ransomware evidence pack we put together on a cryptocurrency exchange that was recently attacked has only been possible because of an inside actor, and thanks to the insider, the attacks will continue. Again, terrible words. The FCA, PRA and EBA have issued outsourcing rules that cover data through the supply chain, saying it's now a regulation, a stipulation to make sure that you monitor for data leaks in your supply chain. And so compromised data is and will continue to cause significant financial, reputational and operational damage. As can be seen here, another stat from just a few weeks ago, CSO Online saying 62% of businesses will move their business from a vendor if it suffers a breach. So if you don't look, how do you know if you have any compromised data? Well, that's where Lab Ones come in. We check all sorts of sources from pay sites, source control repositories, through to Telegram and Discord, right through to file sharing sites like Dropbox and so on. We then extract and organize this public data using graphs, natural language processing, machine learning and AI, and link disparate data sets together to find signals and insights in all that noise. SciGraph, our platform, now holds 11 billion data entities. For our customers, we deliver powerful insights, scores and ratings for any company across any supply chain, all via our Reports UI and API. This graph is showing how we do it. The amber dotted lines are showing how we link disparate sets of data together to find those insights. And what sort of insights have we delivered already? Well, for a global financial institution, we found that their tier 1 financial supplier had compromised their customers' data and our customer didn't know. Or for a defence force, we found a tier 1 defence supplier, this is a globally recognised name, their supplier had compromised top secret missile rocket data as part of a ransomware attack. Or that same National Defence Force, another supplier, we found the CEO was compromised in the breach of a PDF signing service, potentially compromising top secret military data. We're a young company, but we already have some great products. So vendor data risk, I'm going to show you in a sec, your risk report and data asset intelligence. So here you can see vendor data risk. This is a report on a company. There's insights here, their rating, compromised data records over time, and their rating bubble graph, which is showing how the risk is broken up. Then on the dashboard, I can see the data for my whole portfolio, how things are trending, and an aggregated timeline. The FinTech Innovation Lab has been absolutely amazing. We've met with world-class organisations in the financial sector, some of which have already followed up with us. We've met with brilliant mentors who have helped us on pricing, product market fit and company strategy. We've attended fantastic workshops and it's all been backed up by the amazing Phil team who have been truly spectacular. Thank you so much. So thank you for listening. We've had an amazing first quarter launching our first products in the market and already having a neobank sign up and start using them. If you'd like to know more, just email me, robin@lab-1.io, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks again.
Hello everyone, my name is Atri Sharma and I'm a product engineer at Pangea Data. Today, I'll be giving you a brief overview about Pangea as a company, as well as our core product, Pangea's intelligence extraction and summarization. Now, in a nutshell, our product makes use of novel unsupervised AI to extract information from a large volume of data and essentially summarize it to help end users make real-time, data-driven decisions. Now, as we all know, unstructured textual data contains a wealth of information that is currently seriously underutilized. Pangea is now one of the only providers of directly usable products in this space, which it has built through 20 years of research that have attracted over $200 million in research funding so far. Now, Pangea is an active product in the life sciences industry, where it has shown significant value add in its active customers at pharmaceutical companies as well as at healthcare providers. Finally, our founders have prior experience of working with banks through their previous businesses, which they have also successfully led to acquisitions. Now, moving on, let me explain how our product essentially works in extracting as well as summarizing information. For this purpose, we have developed two novel AI methods. The first is unsupervised natural language processing. And this is a method that makes use of contextual, semantic, as well as numerical understanding to extract information from a large volume of unstructured textual data with high speed and accuracy. The next method that we have developed is the exact reverse. So it essentially uses information as an input and automatically produces a textual summary of that input information. Now, one of the key use cases that we're currently collaborating with a global bank is the automatic generation of reports that summarize the performance of financial products. So our product will make use of reports from vendors as an input, which would consist of electronic PDF reports consisting market analysis and returns of financial products. The relevant information from these reports will be first extracted by our unsupervised natural language processing algorithm, and then this extracted information would be then summarized by our natural language generation algorithm, which will essentially produce a summary of the performance of the financial products that are contained inside the reports. These summaries are useful not only for the bank's customers, however, also for the bank's internal stakeholders. Upon successful deployment, it is estimated that this automated process can help save up to 70% in labor as well as cost for 3 FTEs in a small team. Now, as I mentioned previously, we have applied the same product with following the same workflow in the life sciences industry, where we're essentially helping pharmaceutical companies automatically generate regulatory reports with high accuracy. And this is helping us deliver value for 3 key reasons. First is traceability. So our products are essentially designed to be traceable, which means that the link between the text that they generate and the values where the information is coming from is very clear. Next, we are automating a process that was previously entirely manual and previously took around 8 to 10 hours for an expert to actually write a report. Finally, the savings in effort as well as time are helping our customers save costs by up to 90%, because previously this use case required a large team of 200 to 300 experts to actually go through all of the data and write reports. Finally, I just wanted to highlight the technical workflow for the configuration of our product to generate reports that summarize the performance of financial products. And let me just draw your attention to 3 key points. Firstly, our product makes use of novel unsupervised AI along with synthetic data generation techniques, which means that our product needs significantly less data to begin with for training. Next, we make use of a human-in-the-loop framework, which allows an expert to not only validate the outputs of our model, but also provide feedback that can be used to improve the performance of the model over time. Finally, all of the technical components in our pipeline, including the pre-processing, data generation, as well as the human expert-in-the-loop framework, are fully productized and are accessible over a web API for your trial. Thank you very much for your time, and we would be happy to get in touch. On this slide, you can see the contact details of our founder, Dr. Paperbox. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Fred. I'm one of the co-founders of Paperbox,
And Paperbox is an AI-driven software as a service that specializes in intelligent document processing for the insurance industry. This means that we are processing and automating huge volumes of documents and emails for insurance companies. We founded the company in the beginning of last year and are headquartered in Ghent, the unicorn capital of Belgium. We have received already a few accolades in the first few months of being in operations, such as the InsurTech Award at the Magic of Innovation in Vienna, as well as Unizo's Starter of the Year in Oost-Vlaanderen. Paperbox is an AI-powered intelligent document processing engine specifically designed for insurance teams to reduce the bottlenecks, errors, and inefficiencies of manual work. We help insurance companies to process vast amounts of incoming emails and documents so that they can reduce lead times, improve operational efficiency, and provide scalability to their company. Paperbox integrates seamlessly with the most common insurance technologies such as Guidewire and Keylane, just to name a few examples. Paperbox will do the heavy lifting of all the tasks that used to be manually done. This means that it will collect and extract all the information from within your physical and digital mailboxes. It will read and analyze its content, really interpreting what is written so that it can trigger specific actions into your workflows. And the humans in the loop, well, they focus on those tasks that need brain power, that need rigorous analysis or a personal human touch with your customers. So that means no more typing away on a keyboard all day doing manual data entry. At Paperbox, we take data security and GDPR standards very seriously. We have been ISO certified already and are working with an internal DPO to ensure data security at all times. To top it all, Paperbox offers insurance teams flexible pay-as-you-go plans so that we can provide to companies big and small the accessibility of world-class AI technology we have built. One of our customers experiences 83% of straight-through automation processing after only 6 months of using Paperbox in production. This means they process up to thousands of emails and documents for a single user every day, cutting in half the time to process documents and improving its accuracy altogether. So for us, the FinTech Innovation Lab has been the right program at the right time. We have been able to, since the beginning of the lab, make leaps forward in terms of market understanding, refining our value proposition, and really improving our international go-to-market strategy. We've been able to learn from some of the best mentors out there, as well as engage with some of the most prominent financial institutions in the market. Because most people in the lab are so convinced of its value that it's one of the best accelerators out there, people are really committed to contribute as such. And this, to me, is probably the beauty of the FinTech Innovation Lab. Paperbox is operating bootstrap today from a small government grant and working with the first few customers already. We were profitable last year, which means we had room to test and try out new hypotheses. And we have been working a lot on improving scalability of our processes as well as our international go-to-market strategy. This means we will be raising a seed round later this year to really accelerate and grow our sales force as well as our go-to-market in the UK specifically. Thank you so much for listening.
I want to thank each and every FinTech for their participation this year and making it a very exciting journey for all of us. Thank you for presenting all the insights from each of your areas, and we are honored to be part of your growth journey. Thanks.
Great stuff from our data fintechs there. Honestly, I've seen their fintech pitches so many times now, and every time blown away. Amazing work, fascinating stuff, incredibly skilled people. So a huge thank you to you all, and thanks also to Vanessa and Sandy for our hosting services that we've just had there.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the last session, getting to know the sustainability and the data fintechs better, and as ever, made some interesting connections during the session. We're now going to move on to part 2 of our exciting agenda, which will include hearing from both the cloud and the embedded finance fintechs. We'll start off with delivering on the promise of cloud, which will be hosted by Stream Lead Damon Roberts. Damon has got a wealth of experience across major cloud banking transformation projects. He's previously held posts of CTO at Atom Bank and Digital Director at TSB. Over to you, Damon.
Hi, I'm Damon Roberts. I work in Cloud First at Accenture and I'm the Cloud Stream sponsor for FinTech Innovation Lab. Previously worked as a CTO for a FinTech startup bank and also the CTO for a high street retail bank. So I know firsthand the power of cloud and digital and what that can do from a customer experience perspective. In the cloud stream, we have 4 fantastic fintechs: Magic Orange, bringing transparency to IT cost decision making; Model 9, making mainframe data accessible to cloud apps; Savium, doing no-cost financial automation for SMBs; and Think Cyber Security, affecting behavioural change in cyber. Each one of those fintechs have done a fantastic job. We're very lucky to have them, and we wish you every success in the future. Thank you.
I'm David Harding, CEO of Magic Orange. Any introduction to our solution has to start with an explanation of our name. It was a bank's CIO who once opened his presentation at a conference saying, "I don't know about the rest of you here, but my CFO seems to think the IT division in our organisation is some sort of magic orange that can be squeezed for savings year after year with often random percentage targets." I was leading Credit Suisse's first global cost transparency project at the time, and the perception of the Magic Orange resonated with me then and has done ever since. We offer a market-leading, intuitive and accessible IT financial management solution which combines financial and operational data and enables the development of transparent allocation processes at scale. Our vision is to be the global standard for enterprise IT financial management, delivering the market's most advanced technology to make organisations and people more valuable. Greg Guy, one of the co-founders of Magic Orange, was in fact my first hire onto the project team at Credit Suisse, and when I subsequently moved to Morgan Stanley, with one ask being to lead a similar project across infrastructure, I managed to persuade Greg to join me and we worked together there as well. Magic Orange was originally founded in South Africa, but we're now a UK-parented and headquartered group with presence in the UK, US and Australia, as well as South Africa. We have a number of existing clients, about 50% of whom are in financial services, including banking, asset management and insurance, and we have others in a range of sectors, including telecoms, natural resources, public sector and FMCG. We applied to join Accenture's FinTech Innovation Lab to learn from the mentors and work with Accenture to scale up our business and grow globally. It is still the case that IT is often seen as a black box, and organisations which are able to accurately allocate expenses to the business and, importantly, understand the levers they have to control their spend, create material opportunities to optimise costs and make better investment decisions. Increasing adoption of cloud and its inherently decentralised control make the need for cost transparency and attributable allocation even more important. It is very much our intention to drive IT financial management to be a business enabler rather than a measurement device, and to get away from the danger of the random savings asks. That said, we're careful to highlight that we inform profitability rather than increase it. We only hold the expense side of the equation, not revenue, and it's for the business to take decisions to act on the insights and accountability that transparency provides. Magic Orange Prism is the name we've given our solution, which sits as a complementary platform to an organisation's general ledger or ERP system, which is fundamentally limited by the fact that the general ledger is a two-dimensional product which aligns cost centres and expenses. By associating spend with inventories and asset management data, we're able to introduce a third dimension and correlate spend with business activities, applications and products and services, and build a picture of the true cost of ownership of any given product. The solution also acts as a translation layer between the language of the IT division and that of the business. Uniquely in the market, Magic Orange is a cloud-native solution deployed on Microsoft Azure, which gives us excellent scalability and security, as well as an ability to quickly deploy on local Azure instances close to clients anywhere in the world. Our process for data ingestion and integration will depend to some extent on the maturity of the client organisation, whether utilising simple in-app or CSV file uploads to making use of Azure's inventory of more than 300 inbuilt connectors. We also connect with all of the major cloud providers. Within the solution, we will configure the data and align to a defined catalog. We also have a planning, budgeting and forecasting capability, as well as benchmarking functionality. Importantly, our cloud solution is a core component of our platform. It is not a standalone or separate module, and that gives us a unique ability to easily align cloud spend with the same taxonomy, but also to analyze not only pure cloud spend, but also an organization's on-prem and hybrid estate with the same lens. Our USP is not to be another BI solution. We deliberately leverage Microsoft's Power BI for reporting and analytics, which makes for a very accessible solution from a user's perspective and gives us an ability to develop reporting for executive consumption as easily as for power users. We've also developed and registered the ITFM pathway to success as a framework and process to work with organizations and partners. Our pathway recognizes that the approach to an ITFM program is that of a journey, and that the software solution and implementation comes only at step 4, with a lot of work required up and downstream of the software implementation to deliver a successful outcome.
Hello, my name is Eyal David, Chief Strategy Officer for Model 9, where we've built the cloud data platform for mainframe and focus on liberating and extracting core business critical data from mainframe applications and mainframe infrastructure. In today's world, where data-driven business decision making is becoming a central part of all of the largest organizations' strategy, it is becoming apparent that the most precious data, the most business critical data, is still siloed away in legacy data management systems running on mainframe infrastructure. These infrastructure and data management systems are heavily in use in all of the world's largest financial organizations and are preventing the adoption of these modern business decision-making processes, modern and AI, BI analytics, because they are completely siloed away and are very hard to reach. And because of the prevalence of this type of infrastructure within financial services, Model 9 was extremely excited when we were presented with the opportunity to join the Accenture FinTech Innovation Lab. And now at the conclusion of the lab, we can certainly say that it has been illuminating. We've learned a lot about how our customers think, what are their initiatives, what are they trying to achieve as they think about modernizing their legacy infrastructure, about adopting cloud, and how can they integrate and build a hybrid state between their kind of core production systems of record, and their modern cloud applications. Model 9 itself was founded in 2016. We're backed by Intel Capital and have a very strong partnership with both AWS and Azure. And with Model 9, both within our team and within our product, we have strong IP and capabilities from the mainframe world and from the cloud world, where we essentially are able to bridge that gap and help our customers do the same. As we look at our offering, we provide 3 main pillars within over our platform. One would be Model 9 Gravity, which allows customers to easily integrate their core business critical data into their private or public cloud environment, opening the door for AI, BI, and analytics application to easily consume and use that type of data. On top of that, we provide also Model 9 Shield, which focuses on modern backup, DR, archive, and easy accessibility to cyber resiliency capabilities to protect modern mainframe data from cyber attacks, ransomware attacks, and so on. And also Model 9 Manager, which can completely take over all of the data management aspects of the mainframe infrastructure. Now, all of that is done without any change or adaptation of the kind of core systems of record running on the mainframe. It doesn't require additional resources on the mainframe. It can improve performance, reduce cost, and accelerate the time to modernize and the time to cloud. Our basic approach relies on a simple software agent that runs on the mainframe and leverages modern networking technologies to send the data directly to a cloud implementation, to an object storage on a private or public cloud. And a significant benefit of that approach is the ability to run all of the heavy transformation processing off the platform, leveraging cloud-based compute and storage and networking. To touch on one success story, so recently we've worked with Azure and NetBank to implement their cloud-first strategy when it comes to the mainframe. And together we've helped them implement a complete move of all of their data assets from their existing mainframe application to Azure Cloud. And now looking forward into modern applications around analytics that would be powered by Azure Power BI. So to summarize, Model 9 can help accelerate modernization and digital transformation, can allow access to liberated data in the mainframe, and can reduce the cost and the risk of adopting cloud technologies when it comes to the mainframe. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time, and we appreciate the participation in the FinTech Innovation Lab, and happy to answer any question or discuss any initiatives that you may have. Have a good day.
Hi, I'm Yin, and I'm the CEO of Savium. We're on a mission to automate financial management for small and medium businesses. At Savium, we aim to answer this one question: what would your business do if you never had to worry about finance? Today, 1,500 new businesses will be registered in the UK. But the sad reality is that more than half of them will not survive due to poor financial management. These companies could be saving lives or helping the environment, but they might never reach their full potential because of bad money management. After speaking to more than 100 business owners, we validated that finance is the #1 problem for small businesses. 80% of business owners have no financial training. This leads to an outcome where UK SMEs overpay £8.6 billion per year on products and services that they're not even using. At Savium, we want founders to focus on changing the world, not on number crunching. So, we're building a cash management and payments automation platform. Our mission is to allow every business owner to get real-time financial insights and build customized financial dashboards in minutes with 0 lines of code. This helps them get access to accurate, relevant, and real-time financial data anytime and anywhere. We connect with existing accounting and banking software to provide powerful, real-time financial control. Furthermore, Savium allows you to automate financial workflows with 0 lines of code. Whether you want to be notified when a particular invoice is paid, make bulk team payments, or identify anomalies, you can use Savium to build a workflow just for that. As a matter of fact, our users saved 5 hours per month by creating a workflow that sends their burn rate, runway, and key financial metrics to their investors using our platform. Previously, they would spend hours exporting data and crunching Excel sheets. With £0 of development spend, my co-founder and I built an MVP that features bank-level security and connects to every major bank in the UK and Europe. Our MVP allows you to get real-time insights into your financial performance, cash analytics, and expense management, while also giving the ability to create custom communication workflows for you and your team. Our first user was able to save £6,000 per year by using our software. Our go-to-market strategy involves working with UK SMEs. Our target is to address a £300 billion market opportunity of global SMEs. It's no secret that SME finance has always been a very competitive space. Yet, entrepreneurs around the country are still forced to use complicated spreadsheets, countless back and forth emails with their accountants, and outdated financial software that were built in the 90s. Basically, the ice ages in the tech world. Savium is different. We aggregate all your existing business bank accounts into one place and allow you to keep track of your revenue, expenses, and create custom financial workflows. This data is synced automatically from your financial stack, eliminating the need for admin, manual data inputs, and human error. Last but not least, we're not just building an analytics solution. Our secret sauce is that we're building a solution that entrepreneurs can use to apply their own custom business logic to their financial data and workflows. Our revenue model is B2B, software as a service. We charge SMEs depending on their annual turnover to ensure that our software is affordable to everyone, starting at about £30 per month. In the future, we also sign finance providers such as investors, VCs, and lenders. Wouldn't it be interesting to see in real time how all your portfolio companies are doing today? We started our journey in January last year. In March, we won Imperial's flagship product competition, the Venture Catalyst Challenge, in the digital and fintech track, and received £10,000 in equity-free funding. In June, we were accepted into the highly competitive NatWest 6-month Entrepreneur Accelerator, and we launched our product about 2 months ago and are currently testing it with 8 SMEs live now as we speak, and 100 SMEs on the waitlist. As we graduate this week from FinTech Innovation Lab, we will begin our new program this week at Techstars London. We are one of the 12 startups out of 17,000 applications to be part of this cohort. My co-founder and I are both technical founders. My name is Yen, my background is in computer science. I have experience working in human-computer interaction, data science, and UX design. I previously founded a clean tech startup that wanted to get funded by Shell and Imperial. Recently, I was named top 50 most inspiring women in tech in the UK. This is my co-founder Pavel. His experience in finance, software engineering, and venture capital. He led the development of one of the largest SME funding platforms that has been used by over 60,000 entrepreneurs. Pavel met at Imperial in 2017, and we have 4 years of experience working together on startups. To date, we've built everything ourselves. We have the expertise, speed of execution, and access to thousands of SMEs through our network, both working in the venture capital space. And this is why we're the unique team to build Xavier. We invite you to join our mission of building the next generation of financial software. Thank you very much.
Let's imagine a familiar scene. You're sat at your desk working hard when you get an email purporting to be from HR. Urgent action required. Update your payroll details or you won't get paid. Would you click? Would your colleagues? It only takes one click and the results can be devastating. So I'm Tim Ward from Think Cybersecurity, and we don't train people against these threats. We change their behaviour. Let's go back to that email and imagine if prior to receiving it, you would gently nudge from time to time when using your email. And then, when you were ready, show an example of a real phishing email so you knew what to look for. Or perhaps, as you're about to click this link, the system nudged you to say, double check the sender. Or maybe when you got to entering your credentials, a reminder to be careful on this website. These are just a few examples of the way we can nudge users to make secure decisions and deliver the next generation of security awareness. Let's go back to the problem. So whilst phishing cost businesses tens of billions of dollars globally in 2021, it's actually just the tip of the iceberg, both in terms of the problem and the solutions we offer. 90% of cyber attacks start with a human user. Technical controls can never be 100%, so your people will always be the last line of defence. But who here has done corporate mandatory awareness training? It's pretty boring stuff. Less than 15% of users trained this way actually change their behaviour. And if you're a professional services firm, then this is lost billable revenue doing ineffective training, never mind the residual risk of an incident. At Think Cyber, we know there's a better way. We've applied the theory and evidence of how people really learn and behave, including the Nobel Prize-winning nudge theory, and we help users make the right decisions at the right time. Our innovative and award-winning software, Red Flags, understands, tracks and learns user behaviour. That could be at a point in time. Are they in their email, plugging in USB, changing their password? But also over the longer term, do they engage with our awareness material? And then delivers nudges and awareness based on that understanding. So you might be a global telecoms firm and you want to nudge users when they go to certain web pages to steer them towards corporate tools. Or you're a government department and you want to nudge people when they go to social media to advise them to be careful what they share. Or an investment firm and you want to nudge people when they enter the email address in a website. Our approach is highly differentiated from what others are doing in this marketplace in 4 different ways. Firstly, we're delivering awareness based on this continuous assessment of what the user is actually doing on their device. Secondly, we're delivering real-time cognitive nudges rather than lengthy training. Thirdly, we can rapidly update our content based on incidents, things that are going on in the wider environment. And fourthly, we can optimize the system by applying learning algorithms to aggregated datasets of behavioural change metrics. And this approach really works. We're seeing 80 to 90% engagement with our content without needing to incentivize people positively or negatively. We have a user preference for our approach, but we're seeing real changes in behaviour, halving click rates, doubling phishing reporting rates, and changes such as reduction in USB use. We've had fantastic traction since we started, selling to banks, telecoms companies, and some really exciting trials with major multinational organisations. And some fantastic achievements. We were Tech UK's Cyber Innovator of the Year in 2021, won the SC Award for Best Professional Training, and some fantastic support from the likes of FinTech Innovation Lab, of course. Our experienced and incredible team includes the ex-global heads of IT and InfoSec from the cyber arm of BAE Systems, an organisation previously known as Deontic. Deontic is well known for spawning successful cyber startups, our friends at Digital Shadows, Panacea and Garrison. We've got some fantastic advisors, both industry and academic, including Dr. Robert Coles, ex-CISO of NHS and GSK and National Grid. And so what have we learnt on the Innovation Lab? Well, we've explored the secure behaviours that really matter, and we've heard from people some really interesting insights into where they want to focus and which they feel they had in hand. But we've also been able to step back and look at the real value here. So people are your greatest asset, but they're being allowed to be the greatest cyber risk. Instead of empowering and enable them, organisations are often locking down their IT, mandating and testing. This will impact on talent retention. Fundamentally, what we found is that we can build a cyber secure culture where secure behaviours are part of everyday use of IT. And that's something e-learning and phishing tests can never do. So that's red flags from Think Cybersecurity.
Thank you so much to the Cloud Fintechs and of course to Damon for hosting this incredible mix of cloud optimization tooling and cloud-based propositions to improve SME banking and security. Before we head to our second breakout and networking session, we'll hear from the final stream, Embedded Finance. This will be hosted by stream lead Eva, who is an expert in payments and a pioneer of open banking.
Hi everyone. My name is Eva Wójcik. I've been with Accenture for 10 years, focusing on driving projects across the payments ecosystem. Having been heavily involved in payments opportunities across multiple clients and driving several new payments offerings, I've witnessed firsthand the customer journey evolution and desire for embedded finance services. That is why this year I'm very proud to be leading our embedded finance stream, which focuses on the evolution of customer expectations in the financial ecosystem, where financial products and solutions are increasingly being made available along the customer journeys and as a result blur the borders across the industries. It's a great opportunity, however it comes with challenges as well. This is where the three fintechs in our embedded finance stream thrive by pushing financial services institutions to the forefront of embedded finance. First, we have BankPay, who offer a zero-fee, incentivized open banking payments at checkout that reward customers with store credit for paying with their bank account instead of cards or buy now pay later. Next, we have Lina, who helps financial services institutions leverage transactional data to identify when it's best to offer their customers new insurance products tailored to their needs. Last but not least, Troc Circle, who help businesses unlock capital stack in their accounts receivable by netting invoices in an open network.
Hi, I'm Urvesh Vasani, CEO and co-founder of BankPay, and along with my co-founder and CFO Devansh, we're building a zero-fee, loyalty-driven checkout for e-commerce that rewards customers with store credit for choosing to pay with their bank account instead of using cards. Because look, it's no secret that accepting payments via card networks is expensive and it carries a lot of risk. And this is why account-to-account transfers have been the promised solution to this for the past 4 years that open banking has been around. But open banking payments will not see mass adoption unless European startups address two major problems with their current approach. The first one being, customers have no reason to pay with their bank account, especially when they can check out in one click using Apple Pay or use Klarna to defer their payments. Secondly, with open banking APIs being so cheap and easily available, you're essentially engaged in a race to the bottom because you're forced to compete on price if you're selling a commodity like payments. Which is why we realized very early on that instead of rivaling with competitions over 5, 10, 20p margins, we're just going to target a different budget that over 80% of brands set aside for acquiring and retaining customers, known as their performance marketing budget, to turn the checkout into a retention tool from it being a cost center. So how BankPay works is, customers earn store credit for choosing to pay with their bank account instead of using cards. This store credit is then automatically applied when the customer comes back to shop with the same brand again the next time. And by doing so, we've now created a multitude of win-win-win situations for all of the stakeholders involved by essentially rewarding customers with store credit. Brands are now incentivizing the use of a more efficient payment rails like account-to-account transfers, and we're able to more effectively compete with other payment methods on the checkout page. Plus, because of this incentive, brands are now seeing an increase in average basket values, increase in conversion rates, as well as loyalty, thereby boosting top-line revenues for them. BankPay comes in at the point of re-engaging customers with our mobile apps and our marketing campaigns to not only come back and redeem the store credit which they've earned, but also allow brands to target new customers with targeted placements through our assets. So by essentially flipping the business model over its payment processing business model over its head, we have simply eliminated payment fees. We're boosting loyalty, increasing conversion rates, increasing average basket values, allowing brands to access new customers. And because all of this is happening over banking rails, you have instant transactions, instant refunds, no chargebacks, no fraud, no false declines. So BankPay's business model is very straightforward. We don't charge transaction fees, but we instead charge an attribution fee of anywhere between 2 to 6%, and this comes out of the brand's existing performance marketing budgets, so it doesn't cost them anything extra. Moreover, by doing so, we're able to operate at average take rates which are 3 times higher than that of the competition without ever competing with them on price. So let's look at an example scenario, right? Currently, a brand is paying 2.9% plus 20p to accept payments, plus they're also setting aside 20% to acquire and retain customers through influencer marketing, loyalty marketing, affiliate marketing, and the rest. With BankPay, they've eliminated their payment processing costs entirely, and we then split that 20% into giving 16% over to the customer as store credit and keeping 4% as an attribution fee on returning purchases. Because this budget is only activated on returning purchases, it's a 100% zero risk proposition for the brands that are involved in this. We're looking at this as a global opportunity to incentivize bank transfers around the world, which is why this is a $320 billion market, and there is just so much that can be done here. Customers can sell their unused credits, brands can target lookalike customers, brands can also re-engage slipping or lapsed customers. We can also introduce insurance products, tiering customers to offer premium customers to luxury brands, and also allow in-app shopping much on the veins of Klarna. We've had some interesting early progress, got some very good feedback from some of the brands that we've been speaking to, and we've also partnered with the likes of Awin, who's going to be introducing us to 21,000 brands that they represent to onboard them as a merchant on our platform. Competitive landscape is very interesting here. Nobody across Europe is paying attention to the consumer adoption problem, whereas in the US we have companies like Catch, which is implementing the same model as us, and also Imprint, which is also bundling a loyalty program with account-to-account transfers. We have a brilliant team on board. Devansh, apart from being a co-founder, CFO, as well as my brother, he holds 2 professional qualifications, one of them being a chartered accountant as well as a certified internal auditor. He is ex-senior consultant at EY and currently assistant vice president at Citibank. This is my second company. I've spent the past 8 years in performance marketing, growing an agency to a team of 12, 100% bootstrapped, so this model fits perfectly with my experience. We also have a CTO with 21 years of experience in tech, along with a team of engineers who have experience building Japan's PayPay app, which is SoftBank owned, as well as India's biggest financial super app called Paytm. So thanks so much for listening to me, and I look forward to discussing this with all of you. Thanks. Bye.
Hi, my name is Tamara and I'm the CPO of Lina. We use transactional data to empower banks to offer the right insurance to the right customer at the right time. This of course increases revenue with up to £8 per customer and year, but it's also a way to generate sticky customers by making the bank a valuable partner in insurance matters. But let's be honest, insurance is boring and I don't know what I need and when I need it. So what I want is a partner that tells me, hey, you've just bought an expensive bicycle, or congratulations, you've just got married. It's time to look into insurance. So we are convinced that banks can become that partner. But in order to become that partner, being able to detect the relevant life moments is key. Banks have a treasure of transactional data, such as payments or financial requests, which gives an indication of the relevant life moments. So to give you some examples, a customer buys something for £3,000 at a bicycle store. It's very likely that she bought a bicycle. Or a customer never bought anything at a baby store, and suddenly 3 times in a row, it's very likely that they're expecting a baby. So we at Lina, we have identified 80 such use cases and have built a platform around it. And this platform consists of 3 modules. First is our real-time analytics platform, Second, our personalization and recommendation engine. And third, a white label insurance platform. So let's see how this works based on a simple example. A customer buys a bicycle digitally. The bank then receives this payment information real time. The bank can then pass this payment information anonymized to Lina. There, in our first module, we enrich that data with information such as: what does the merchant typically sell? What is the typical price range of the merchant? Or does the merchant already offer insurance at the point of sales? Our AI engine can then detect what product the customer has purchased and whether this is an insurance relevant purchase. This information goes then to our second module, the recommendation engine. There we can also look at anonymized demographic information such as age, gender, and so on, and then decide specifically for that customer, does it make sense to offer insurance? If yes, what insurance is most appropriate and what is the best way to address the customer? That information we then pass to the bank and we say, look, this is the text to contact the customer with, and this is the sales link. So it's then the bank that ultimately gets in touch with the customer and can offer an insurance check, for example, through the banking app. If the customer then clicks on the bank notification, he is guided through a simple workflow where he can check his existing coverage and then also buy insurance directly through the banking app. We have a launch-ready platform and we were able to demonstrate its readiness in 5 proof of concepts. We are planning to go live by the end of 2020. We are also planning to do a seed round by the end of this year. And the seed round will enable Lina to fund the phase between launch and €1+ million in ARR. Lina's model is highly scalable. We first want to focus on crucial European markets, but then we want to use our first mover advantage to scale globally quickly. We have a team with experienced professionals with different backgrounds, and we have several years of insurance industry knowledge, as well as in Europe and in Latin America. So if you're also interested in leveraging your transactional data, feel free to reach out to us, and we're looking to continue the conversation. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Yumna, co-founder and chief growth officer at Rock Circle, and we help businesses unlock stuck capital in their account receivable. We are on a mission to bring fairness to the whole supply chain by streamlining account receivable and account payable processes and removing the financial gridlock problem. How do we do it? Through our open netting platform. Just to refresh your memory what netting is the act of offsetting an account receivable with an account payable without moving money. What's the impact of this financial gridlock problem I'm talking about? More than 14 trillion of capital is stuck in today's supply chain. To solve this financial gridlock problem, we have developed 2 complementary in-house technologies, circular netting and chain netting. Circular netting is the case when 2 or 3 or hundreds of businesses are working together in an interrelated way. We detect the connection between the businesses simply because we are connected to their accounting system through an API connection. We then detect the common amount between the invoices, which is always the netted amount. We propose netting opportunities to the different parties that are involved, and once they accept the netting opportunity, automatic receipts are generated, and it means removing the financial gridlock problem in this interrelated supply chain network. Now, we know that not all businesses are interrelated. This is why we have pushed our technology even further and combined the advantages of supply chain financing with netting, which we call chain netting. We are able to net out also the common amount between the different parties simply by fast forwarding the payment from the first node in the chain to the last node in the chain and doing the netting on the middle nodes. So what's the value for any business that would like to leverage our solution? It's a better, more efficient working capital. Through netting, we are liberating the stock capital without affecting sales. It's better terms and conditions from suppliers because we are integrating the advantages of supply chain financing with netting, hence paying suppliers on times and sometimes earlier, leading to better terms and conditions. It's a fast forwarding of account receivable through our platform, through Truck Circle. Any business can collect 10 times faster. Fourth, but not least, it's netting at live market rate, hence zero FX fees. To implement our solution for small to medium-sized businesses, we are offering a supplier virtual card. Any business can pay out now instantaneously their supplier through the supplier virtual card. How does it work? Businesses need to connect to Truck Circle's platform. We pull out the information of account receivable and account payables, detect the outstanding account payables per supplier. Businesses can now assign a virtual supplier card to the supplier and pay out instantaneously their outstanding account payables. The advantages of using this supplier virtual card, it's less manual work, instant payouts, and less transaction fees, just to name a few. Now, how is all of that related to a financial institution? We would like to partner with a financial institution that share our value of bringing fairness to the whole supply chain. Through leveraging our chain netting technology, any financial institution can now finance a whole supply chain instead of a single node within the chain. We are compliant with regulations and supported by PwC. We are compatible with different accounting systems, 18 as we speak of. Our goal is to be cost efficient, fair, and open to any business within the supply chain. So how does it all work with a financial institution? Well, before Truck Circle, a financial institution has visibility on only one company within the chain, Company A, and earns money from Company A. After leveraging our chain netting algorithm, a financial institution can fast forward the payment to the last beneficiary in a supply chain and finance the whole chain. How do we do it? Fast forwarding the payment and doing the netting on the middle nodes. So what's the advantages for any financial institution? It's doing more with less. So with the same capital, financing a whole supply chain, which is a win-win solution for the treasury and trade department, the client, and the whole ecosystem. It's also better economics. Financial institutions can now offer better interest rate to their core client while still earning interest rate from other nodes within the chain that are benefiting from this finance. Thirdly, it's better AML checks and compliance. We do the KYB for every single business that is benefiting from this financing, as well as it's better AML checks because we are decreasing the number of transactions to the minimum, hence improving in the layering aspect of the AML check. As a conclusion, any financial institution will have a better price and KYB benefit for the financial institution, for the core client, as well as the whole ecosystem. I am happy to showcase our solution to any bank, any trading company, any manufacturing company, and any logistic company that would like to benefit from our solution. I'm Yumna, co-founder and Chief Growth Officer at Truck Circle. Happy to talk.
Thank you for BankPay, Lena, and Truck Circle for their excellent presentations. It's really exciting hearing what you've learned from your journey with the FinTech Innovation Lab this year and what the future holds for each of your companies. I know I speak for our entire stream and wider Accenture colleagues when I say it has been an absolute delight working with you all over the last 12 weeks, and wish you every success as you drive the revolution of embedded finance.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you've had the chance to make or cement some good connections and to start brewing some promising partnerships. We're now coming to the conclusion of our afternoon with our second keynote speaker, a real fintech superstar and someone we are delighted to call our colleague at Accenture. Laura McCracken is the global industry lead for e-commerce and payments in Accenture's software and platforms business. And in line with our vision for finance for good, she's also leading the social commerce initiative globally. She's got a wealth of international experience. This sits over 30 different global markets, and she's held leadership or executive positions in companies such as Meta, Amazon, American Express, Citi, and others, and has served on numerous boards. Laura, we are delighted to hear from you.
Wonderful. Hi. Hi, everybody. Thank you. And congratulations. Congratulations on completing this awesome 12-week course. So I'm congratulating not only the 14 Fintechs that have been doing this course, but also congratulations to the banks, the partners, the mentors who've been participating in this program, because I know that you, or I probably should say we, have gotten as much out of the program as the Fintechs themselves. So throughout this endless speed dating, pitching, panel discussions, roundtables, debates, I think it's been a wonderful two-way learning for both sides. So thank you guys all for participating, and again, congratulations on the end of this great program. Now, who am I? I am Laura McCracken, and as you can tell from my accent, I am not from around here. I'm originally from Texas, but I was a military brat, moved around quite a lot, once every 3 years, so it kind of fed my addiction for change, which I still have am plagued with to this day as an adult, for better or for worse. I've lived in LA, New York, Singapore, Luxembourg, London, and this is now my adopted home. Anyway, so that's a little bit about me, and then my career, which has been spanning over 30 years, which unfortunately ages me a little bit, has spanned from American Express to Citi to Amazon, Facebook, Wirecard, and now Accenture. And I'm responsible here for e-commerce and payments across the software and platforms industry. Now, one thing that is constant in my world of change is partnerships. And I know you guys have talked a lot about partnerships, but I'd like to talk today about unconventional partnerships. And throughout my career, I've been doing this. So at American Express, I was responsible for co-branded card partnerships with airlines, the likes of British Airways, retailers like Costco, banks, etc. And then with Amazon, I was leading payments for Europe, and I was working with a lot of fintech players and banks and even competitors. At Facebook, I was doing P2P payments for WhatsApp and launching social commerce with Instagram. And lastly, with Wirecard, I worked with a lot of fintechs to help them kind of get off the ground, like Revolut, N26, Curve, to name a few. And they were basically leveraging the license and the services that Wirecard had to offer before they so unceremoniously disappeared from the face of this planet. Anyway, we won't go into the Wirecard stories. So anyway, again, I'd like to talk to you today about innovating through these unconventional partnerships. And I'd like to kind of talk about a few areas that I think that makes a difference. One is customer focus. The next is convergence of industries. And the last is cannibalization. So I'll talk a little bit about each of those. The first one, customer focus, is near and dear to my heart, having worked at Amazon, which is one of the most customer-obsessed companies on the planet. I found that you don't want to innovate just for the sake of innovation. You don't want to partner just for the sake of partnering. We do it to engage and delight and surprise even customers in new ways. So I'm sure you've heard a little bit about the way that Amazon innovates. I think it's a really good program. We used to do press releases and frequently asked questions. So you would actually write a press release about what you were planning to do, and you would have quotes from customers and partners explaining the customer value. And that made sure that you did things for the right reasons. Another example that I often think about is the empty chair. I don't know if you heard about this, but Jeff Bezos famously always had an empty chair at the boardroom table. And so we would be sitting around the table and you have this empty chair. And then anytime someone comes up with a harebrained idea, someone points to the empty chair and says, what would the customer say? What would they think about this? And that was a way of ensuring that the customer always had a seat at the table and always had a voice. So that's my bit on customer. Then moving to one of my observations at the time right now is a lot about the convergence of industries. This has been happening for some time. We know that, it used to be in the past that you had defined lines like retail, consumer goods, technology, telco, media, financial services, and they were all kind of playing within their boundaries. They knew what the rules were and they stayed between the lines. But now, with the digitization of literally everything and everything moving into the cloud, the rules have changed. So now I used to buy products like Nike from Selfridges, from a retailer. Now I buy it from Instagram or TikTok. I used to watch CNN. Now I watch Twitter. I used to buy tech products like high definition tech products from tech companies like Microsoft or Dell or Apple. And now you're seeing companies like Amazon create the Echo or Facebook create the Oculus. So they're getting into the tech game and creating devices that we have in front of our faces all day long. And the list goes on. So we do know that the traditional industry lines are blurring. And I believe that they are converging towards platforms like Uber and Airbnb, marketplaces like Alibaba or Mercado Libre, or social commerce like TikTok and Pinterest and Instagram. And of course, my latest obsession, I can't stop thinking about this, super apps. I'm obsessed, and I'm sure that super apps are coming our way, kind of like Alipay and WeChat that we have in China. So we know that these industry lines are kind of disappearing. It's not to mean that the traditional industries or the incumbents are going to go away. They're here to stay. They'll continue to innovate and delight customers within their own lines. However, they absolutely have to embrace an omni-channel strategy. They have to invent new business models, and they, most importantly, have to accept and embrace unconventional partnerships, even with competitors, in order to survive and thrive. So spanning new boundaries also means that you have to be willing to cannibalize your own business. And this brings me to my third and final point of this lesson is you have to be willing to cannibalize your own business. And I do have a couple of stories here to tell. I'll just tell one from American Express, and sorry, I told some Amazon ones, but at American Express, I remember a time when American Airlines came to us and said, hey, why don't we do a co-branded credit card? We can have American Airlines and American Express, and we can give loyalty points for every dollar that the customer spends. And guess what American Express said? We said, oh no, we couldn't possibly do that. That would cannibalize our business. That's crazy. We already have a loyal traveler base. And so American Airlines said, okay, it was American Airlines said, okay, well, we'll go and talk to Visa. And they did. They talked to Visa and created a co-brand credit card, and then they cannibalized our base. So rather than us cannibalizing our own base with an unconventional partnership, we allowed someone else to take our lunch. And learned a lot from that. And that's why I spent the next, 10 years of my life trying to create partnerships for American Express to catch up from that one poor decision that we made back in the early 90s. Again, aging myself. So, what's in it for you? I think I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to have to leave it over to questions in a second. But I think what's in it for the fintech world, it's the most exciting time ever. You look at, you're already spanning boundaries, you're creating new business models, you're innovating, look at embedded finance, one of the core themes this year. When you look at embedded finance, it's about putting financial services in the customer journey when and where it's most convenient to them. And that makes sense for the customer, it makes sense for you, it makes sense for the partners all around. but we can go even further. So I would encourage you guys next to kind of look at the landscape, look across all of the industries, think about where you can play. And maybe it's not embedded finance, maybe it's embedded commerce, like Alipay. Maybe you'll embed commerce or taxi hailing into your mobile wallet. So you never know. It could really turn things on its head. But it's an exciting time, and I'm really happy to have participated, met some of you, and I hope to meet the rest of you in the near future. And with that, I'll turn it over for any questions if you have any. I had someone on the line, they went mute, so I couldn't hear what they were saying. But I think someone asked something about the biggest mistake that I've ever seen a fintech make. And I think that the answer to that would be when people focus too much on one metric. So I did, again, work for Wirecard just before they went bust. And one of the problems was they were focused on one metric and one metric only, and that was revenues. They weren't focused on the right things. They didn't have a balanced scorecard, and they didn't put the values in place. So I would encourage you guys, as you're building your businesses, to create a balanced scorecard. Make sure you have, take the time to create the corporate culture and the values that are going to see you through the long term, and don't just focus on one single metric. Any other questions? That's in my chat. It's weird talking to people from home. I think that's it. Anything else? No, great. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful celebration. I did bring some champagne to toast you, so here's to you, and I'm gonna enjoy this right after I finish this talk.
Thanks so much, Laura. Some great things for us all to think about on there, and a fantastic way to wrap up our 2022 graduation day. Congratulations again to all 14 of our cohort, and another huge thank you to our partners, our clients, our mentors, our affiliates, and the lab team. Of course, a big thank you to you all too, our audience. Thank you for hanging with us. I hope you've really enjoyed it, and I hope you got a chance to meet those fintechs out there in the metaverse. The lab this year really has been another exciting adventure. I really hope we've hit the goals of accelerating fintech, supporting tangible innovation in our partner clients, and sharing some useful insights on emerging tech, both for FS and beyond. Back in the physical world, we look forward to collaborating with you on some fintech for good soon. I've been Graham Cressy, FinTech Lab Director. It's been a pleasure to be with you all this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much for joining us. Goodbye for now.